Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to LinkedIn Marketing Minis. I'm Karen Yankovich, and I'm here with you daily every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, bringing you simple, quick marketing tips to help you move the needle with your marketing in a way that feels simple and comfortable and not overwhelming and stressful. I hope that you've been enjoying them. We're live every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern on my Facebook business page, my Facebook group, which if you have not yet joined us, it's linkedinforemanCommunity.com. LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. So if you're here with us live, happy to have you jump into the conversation. If you're watching the replay, you can also jump into the conversation, and I will respond to you via messaging or in the thread. Sound good? Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun doing these, and today is an interesting topic because all of the strategies that I teach on LinkedIn really roll up to getting on the phone with people, like the good old fashioned phone. I actually was told by somebody recently, when you do this, it makes you look old, that people don't even know what that means anymore. Like if you're old as me, you know what this means. And now you do this if you're like talking about a sign language on using the phone. So whatever, but it's good old fashioned talk on the phone. And we will so here we are looking at how do we do that, right? What I find is a lot of people are hesitant to do this piece, and it is so-called reluctance is basically what we're calling it today, right? And it's common, it's because especially for us women, we're really good at all the to-dos, like all the tasks, right? And then I say, and how many people did you reach out to and say, let's talk today? And they're like, well, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that, right? And I'm telling you this because if you feel that way, you're not alone. It's common, right? Um, but the thing is, if you've been following along with these videos and if you are looking to go back and binge them, you can check them at marketingminis.com. If you're following along with these videos, and you know that I am all about warm outreach, I'm all about research, never having a need to do a cold call, never having a reason to do cold outreach, right? So if that's you, and you're reaching out to these people in this warm way, it should lead to a natural next step, which is, you know what, I'd love to jump on a quick call for 5 minutes. I think there might be an opportunity for us to collaborate, right? And I do believe in short calls for these collaboration opportunities because even if it's a warm opportunity, sometimes you don't know these people all that well. And I don't want you to waste a ton of your time. If in this short, like say 15-minute call, you find there's opportunities, then 10 minutes in, I'd be like, listen, I have a hard stop, at 10, but let's get another call on the calendar before we run out of time here, because I think I definitely want to pursue this, right? So that's, that way you've got the ability to jump off if they turn out to be a crazy person, and you're not wasting a ton of time talking to a lot of people that may or may not be a good fit, right? So the first thing I would recommend you do, though, is kind of practice this. Find an audience of people to practice this. In my She's Linked Up Accelerator program, we encourage every one of our students to book calls with all the other students, because it's how you practice these calls. It's how you practice these get to know you calls, right? It's just like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get at it. So start by just finding ways to get on the phone with people and practice these calls. If you need to, you can do it in front of a mirror, right? You can always do it in front of a mirror and just kind of try to get comfortable with it. Do it with somebody close to you. Maybe you're in a mastermind, or, maybe you are in a coaching program where you can do kind of what I just said, practice calls with each other, right? So you definitely want to take some time to practice this, because the more you do it, the more comfortable you get at it. Because what I'm asking you to do here is have calls with people where you don't necessarily know where that call is going to go. Right? It's not like you can say, well, I know that if I say these things, and we're going to get to that next, is kind of a script, right? You can't really script these calls if you don't know where they're going to go, right? So you can maybe have a little bit of a script to initiate the call and a little bit of a script to start the call. But then I think you've got to be open to where it goes. And that's the scary part of this. Like, what do I say, right? Well, I don't know what you're going to say. Like, what do you say when you meet somebody at the supermarket or at a yoga class, right? It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing as that relationship building stuff. So I normally don't advocate a lot for scripts in the work that I do, but I do think, you want to maybe have some bullet points, or even have, like, I don't want, like, when I say script, we're not talking about a word for word script here. Maybe some bullet points. Like, you may want to start out, and we're talking about the call itself here, right? You may want to start the call out by saying, Mary, so great to get it on the phone with you. Finally, so nice to finally have to put a voice with, with that face, right? Because now we can't even say a face to the name, because we typically know their faces, right, from social media. So, so nice to hear your voice finally. I feel like, we've known each other for a while, or whatever is true about that. And you say, I asked you for this call because I really just think there's opportunities, but I don't know necessarily what those opportunities are. So I'd love to take a couple minutes and just explore that. I'll tell you a little bit about what I do. You tell me a little bit what you do. We'll talk a little bit about what we're each looking for. And if we think we can help each other, then let's book another call and dive into this, more deeply. How does that sound? Right. So kind of almost get their buy-in for that. And that way you've got a little bit of you're keeping control of the call. The last thing you want to do is lose control of that call. And when I say that, for the most part, I don't feel the need to control the call, even though I tend to. But there are definitely times where the other person tries to control the call and tries to shove whatever they've got down my throat. Right. So you want to make sure that you don't put yourself in that situation, because, granted, you only have 15 minutes, but who's got 15 minutes to throw out the window like that? I don't. Right. So it's really about looking for, a warm way to start the call, and being in control of that call, having the confidence to be in control of that call, and, find a warm way to start the conversation. Where are you in the world? Oh my gosh. I had a great margarita there one time, or, maybe it's just simple as complimenting them for the work they do, or, whatever, point out what you love most about what they do. If they have a podcast, talk about the episode that you enjoyed of their podcast, whatever that is, right? Take some time to really dive in. And the more you practice this, and the more you understand that this is truly just people talking to other people, the sooner you'll overcome this call reluctance, because the call reluctance 100% can be getting in the way of your success. 100%. If you're procrastinating doing these calls, if you're procrastinating asking people to get on the phone with you, if you're procrastinating this is the biggest roadblock to your success. Okay. This is so, so important. You've got to do this. So rewatch this. I actually have a podcast episode. Let me see what episode that was. It was episode 235. So if you go to KarenYankovich.com/235, you can listen to the full podcast episode on this. But there's psychology around this, right? This is not something I'm just making up here. You can, it all comes down to, like, a lot of the work we're doing here on LinkedIn is about shifting our identity. And we're not comfortable in this new identity. Maybe you were an employee last week and now you're an entrepreneur, right? So you're in a new identity, and how could you know how to be comfortable with that, right? But LinkedIn gives us these powerful tools to build genuine connections before we get on these calls. And that's what I want you to remember. That's what I want you to remember, right? These personal, you've already got this great profile. We've talked about that a million times on these marketing minis, right? So start practicing these calls. Think about maybe some conversation starters, not fake ones, not fake ones, but true ones, right? Maybe you met each other, like, can you believe it's been 10 years since we both took B school, or whatever, right? Whatever that is. Be comfortable with those, and then just do it. Just do it. The more you start doing it, the quicker you're going to be over your call reluctance. Okay. And the sooner you can grow your business, which is what we're all on LinkedIn for, right? So let's do it. All right. I hope that was valuable. If you want some support with this, grab a spot on my calendar, KarenYankovich.com/call, get you to my calendar. I'd love to see you there. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about LinkedIn for introverts. So it's kind of a little extension of this one, right? I will see you there.